nations are allies in this battle. And next year will be a turning point. I know it, the point when Ukrainian courage and American resolve must guarantee the future of our common freedom, the freedom of people who stand for their values. This battle is not only for the territory, for this or another part of Europe. The battle is not only for life, freedom and security of Ukrainians or any other nation which Russia attempts to conquer. This struggle will define in what world our children and grandchildren will live.
And with us is Chief International Affairs Editor Robert Parsons. Zelensky speaking English in that segment. Wasn't the case for the whole speech, but he did don his now trademark green fatigues.
Yeah, no, wherever he goes, he's got the green fatigues on. Yeah, I mean, he pressed all the right buttons, I think, in Congress. And as you said, he got 18 standing ovations. That's clearly a sign that what he was saying was going down well with his audience. You know, and given the fact that there had been some doubts expressed about slipping support for Ukraine inside the United States, and particularly in Congress with the new recent midterm elections, I think that's a pretty strong answer. The reality is that, yes, of course, there are people in the United States and in Congress who are not entirely supportive of the war in Ukraine. Perfectly natural, given the fact that the war is hitting the economy, people are feeling it in their pockets. Support will begin to slip. But overall, you have to say that both in Congress and in the country nationwide, support for Ukraine remains pretty strong. Zelensky went there knowing this, of course, and that was one of the main reasons why he went to the United States. He wanted to shore up support. He, like Biden, values the effect that face-to-face contact has with people. To be able to talk to Nancy Pelosi, to be able to talk to Joe Biden, to face up to all the members of Congress, and get them to see him there. It brings home the reality, particularly, as you just mentioned, the previous day he'd been in Bakhmut, the epicenter of the fighting in Ukraine at the moment, where the earth, he said, is soaked by blood. There are more shells landing in Bakhmut at the moment than at any period were landing on a single day on the Western Front during the First World War. It's very, very intense. He was able to bring the smell of that, the reality of that, to Congress. And that, I think, for him is very, very important. He needs to ensure that, although there is some slippage of support, that those who are with Ukraine continue to be with Ukraine and make sure that they deliver on what he's asking for. And so far, it looks like he's going to get it.
Yeah, when you talk about shoring up support, the United States, far and away the biggest allied contributor to Ukraine's war effort, and there's more to come.
Today, I'm announcing the next tranche of our security assistance to Ukraine. $1.85 billion package. The package will include a Patriot missile battery, which will train Ukrainian forces to operate as part of the ongoing effort to help bolster Ukraine's air defense. It's going to take some time to complete the necessary training, but the Patriot battery will be another critical asset for Ukraine as it defends itself against Russian aggression.
A Patriot battery doesn't mean, of course, that the skies are going to go quiet.
No. Yeah, the Russians will keep going with their missile attacks for as long as they're able to. And it should be said that there are signs that their ability to put Ukrainian air defenses under sustained pressure is beginning to weaken. They haven't been able to launch as many of these wave of attacks that we've seen in the past, where sort of 70, 80, 90 missiles have fallen on the country. But there's no doubt that Ukraine needs stronger air defenses, and this Patriot system is an addition to what they already have. They've already shown that they're very effective, getting around about 70, 80% of the missiles thrown at them taken out. With the Patriot system, the numbers that get through will become even fewer. They will still get through. We've seen the Patriots being used in Israel. It doesn't mean that every rocket that is fired gets shot out of the sky. Some inevitably get through. But in terms of the overall security, that umbrella that is being created in Ukraine at the moment will get stronger.
You can't help, when you look at this visit, to think how a crisis sometimes makes a man. 2019, Volodymyr Zelensky travels to Washington. I believe it's the last time he was there.
Yeah.
And he looked beleaguered as Donald Trump was trying to strong-arm him into tainting Joe Biden over his son's relations there.
It was a terrible moment for Zelensky. He felt and correctly, felt he was being manipulated by the President of the United States. And he found himself in this situation. He didn't want to be sucked into some internal political battle in the United States. He knew that down the road he would perhaps have to deal with a different president, and that, of course, is what happened. The president who followed Donald Trump was Joe Biden. So he was manipulated in a way that was almost unprecedented by a president of the United States, Donald Trump. Managed to keep his head above water, didn't allow himself to be sucked into that internal political battle, but it wasn't easy for him. Now the situation is completely different, of course. But, again, he doesn't want to be sucked into the United States internal political battles. He doesn't want to be seen on one side or the other of the political battle in the United States.
Robert Parsons, our Chief International Affairs Editor, many thanks.